So number one is understand the condition and care plan before you bring your loved one home from the hospital. Cindy, tell me a little bit about what that means to you.
Well, you want to know, what is their diagnosis? What is there anything that you need to look for when they're at home in case something starts to go south?
Right.
What are the symptoms, signs and symptoms you need to watch for?
Yeah, kind of and what's the recovery timeline?
Yeah, recovery timeline. As a therapist, I want you to know, what my plan is for your loved one and what I want you to continue to do with them at home.
Yeah, also an experience I've had before bringing a loved one home from the hospital is medication.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
It is huge. Because a lot of times, too, if you think about it now, the primary care doctor is not in the hospital anymore. You have hospitalists. And so if medications get changed, and they frequently do.
Yes, they do.
Then you really need to know that medication list and what has changed, and signs or any oh my goodness,
yeah, side effects.
Yes, side effects.
Yeah.
I'm losing it today.
No.
Yes, any side effects, things like that.
Yeah. And did your loved one were they having therapy, any kind of rehabilitation in the hospital?
Right.
What is that going to look like, especially as a caregiver, because that skilled care that they're receiving, your loved one's receiving from the hospital, from the nurse, from the doctor, from therapy, that's going to fall on your shoulders when you bring your loved one home if they're receiving any kind of therapy and stuff like that.
Right. And then one additional thing is if they have some type of a wound, you always want to know what the wound care is going to be, or the dressing or whatever.
Yeah. As far as speech therapy is concerned, we work with people swallowing and making sure that they are able to get their swallow mechanism works and they're able to get good nutrition. So what's their dietary needs leaving the hospital? Do they have any kind of restrictions? Is there a fluid restriction? Are they on a special altered diet that you need to know about? And how do you make that happen at home? And the big thing about that is, before you bring them home, don't be afraid to ask.
That's right. Ask questions.
Yeah. Ask questions. That's what discharge planning is all about.
That's right. That's right.
And, when I worked in long-term care, we always said that discharge planning starts the day you're admitted to the facility. So I would assume you could probably start talking about that the same thing, when you're in the hospital too. So
right. And the other thing I suggest too, whether it's a doctor's appointment, whether it's a discharge plan, as you start thinking about things, write your questions down.
Yeah.
Because inevitably, once you get there, you forget what you're wanting to ask.
Yeah, because you got a million questions, and then when you get there, you can't think of one of them.
That's right.